Yeah, we'll have to see how this game goes. It's possible that they've been drilled like counterplays to Enchantress enough. They got the Mars here next, so it's solid disable there. The offlane always goes like reasonable when you pick up a Mars on your team, and usually have a way to turn this game around. The Mars Mirana is pretty common as well. The speed off into the tree followed by an arrow when they're separated from the creep wave. Disabled for a pretty long time. I think they need a little bit more AoE damage to go into this arena because for the first part of this game, they'll struggle to do damage without this Morphling while he farms up. I'm not sure who's going to meet that criteria. I did at first think that this Morphling would be playing from the mid lane, but I've changed my mind looking at the rest of the squad here. I think they need a hero that's a little bit more active from the mid, whether that be something like Ember, whether it be Storm Spirit. I mean, Puck would have been one of the first things to come to mind, but um, hmm.
I mean, there's not a lot of heroes that you can pick into the Mars that do exceptionally well. Is the problem? Like Terrorblade is still in the pool,
No,
like
I
we
meant
talked
with the
about.
Mars. I was
No,
thinking
I know
with
you're
the
talking
Mars.
about with the Mars. I'm talking about for Infamous here. Like they need to pick their carry. They see the off lane and the core matchup. They're gonna go Faceless Void. Okay, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, you have a lot of disabled now. They're gonna struggle with, and Abaddon can't save you from that one. So Morphling could just get blown up here. You're throwing a lot of magic damage into this Chronosphere as well. It's possible the Beastmaster does just end up going Axe if you throw it out a couple times to a hero sitting inside the Chronosphere and they just get blown up.
5 seconds remain.
Let's see how they've decided to round this one out. What are you most concerned about? I was trying to talk my way through that one. I thought Ember Spirit would have been a decent pickup, being able to jump the backline, blow up some of these heroes. I don't think Queen of Pain is too bad either. I think you need something with the silence to get on top of the Faceless Void, though.
Yeah, I mean, Storm Spirit would be a pretty decent pick for Furia. If you can punish the Faceless Void, it feels very good because he is a hero that would rather build like Sanj and Yasha with a Maelstrom instead of the Manta style. And if you force him to go to the Manta style, it does slow down his farm a decent amount. And there's the Stormban. Absolutely. I think it was the best way to go.
Yeah,
As
good
far
call.
as Infamous, I mean, they need burst damage out of their mid lane. I'm still feeling like the Tiny needs to be responded to. He can toss people into the Chronosphere. He has the avatars just in general that can burst down this Morphling so
10
easily.
seconds remain.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I like the tiny pick
5
as well.
seconds.
I think that and
God,
you're
look at
probably
me, dude.
look, you're too powerful, Ricky. Someone stop this man! Don't give him my mate mate.
I'm still curious. Zex hasn't whispered me. It makes no sense.
No, gonna have to message his boss later. He thought I was joking.
10 seconds.
All right,
Not a lot of mid laners left is the
5
thing. I
seconds
still like the
remain.
Magnus for Infamous. I
Queen of
don't think
Pain.
it's bad. The Queen of Pain is kind of meh. Kind of meh. It's not bad for Infamous, but I just don't like Queen of Pain in general right now. You don't have last pick, and they can hit you pretty heavily with a response there. They're going to get rid of the Ember. TA is still in the pool, actually.
For which team?
Infamous could just take the TA in the mid.
That wouldn't be awful. I don't mind that. Yeah, it's not so
Dive's
bad.
turn
They go
to
to the
pick.
Doom though. They I guess they're really banking on this late game. They don't want Morphin to get shut down in these team fights, and that would completely ruin them. So my I think Queen of Pain wouldn't be bad for either team here. I know that it is very rarely picked up currently,
Radiant must choose.
but they grab the Magnus like you said. I mean, you have Empower to work with. You have these huge AoE team fight abilities. Ricky, you're on fire. You've opened up
I
your
literally
mind
called like
high.
half of Infamous's draft.
Yeah.
Oh, this feels good.
If you want to follow
10
Ricky, you can find
seconds
him on
remain.
Twitter at neph
Oh my god. True, you though. You can. If you want to follow
5
Nev, you can find him at rkryptic. See what I did there?
Uh,
Turn that
yeah,
one around
please
on you.
DM Ricky about coaching inquiries at neph.
Oh man, I mean this mag pick is so good. I kind of saw this coming from a mile away. It just makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
This Faceless Void is going to be that much stronger now, and with this mag, you know, setting up RPs into Chronospheres, follow it. Like there's so many ways that they can take fights here on the side of Infamous, and there's not a lot of mid laners that can beat Magnus. That is left. You can go for like a Kunkka here, which isn't bad. It's good against the Skewer disengages as well as the Faceless Void. I just don't know what other heroes you have in the tank. It's still not going to beat the Magnus in lane.
That's the opposite of what I wanted to see. I don't think we've seen this hero succeed.
There was one game it was close. Did he end up winning the last Shadow Fiend game where he was like super farmed? I think he did win. Did he?
No.
No.
That was the one where they play against the Phantom Lancer.
Oh shoot, that's right. They did have to play against Phantom Lancer.
No.
It is really good at blowing up the Faceless Void, but I feel like if he's going to channel Requiem, he's just going to get RP'd, chronoed, or roared, and it's just going to be a sad time for the Shadow Fiend. Magnus is still going to crush him and farm. Like, the Magnus is going to farm this pretty easily here. I'm like Infamous once again, man.
I'm with Infamous as well. These Ricky calls with this draft, it's just too good. The Mars, I feel like, isn't going to accomplish enough. The Mars Arena with the Shadow Fiend can end up doing a lot of work. It does provide, the SF does provide that AoE damage inside the arena that I was talking about. The Races and the Requiem are both going to be able to do a lot. But you're always working towards your next item on SF, and you're eating up a lot of farm on the map that the Morphling would like to take between these team fights. So I don't think the SF will have the space that he needs with the Morphling on his team. And I don't think the SF will scale into the Ultra late game with the Morphling, and that they'll end up winning. Playing against both like the RP and the Chronosphere on the side of Infamous is going to be pretty scary. If it ends up going super, super late, like I'm talking like 50 minutes, then I do favor the draft here on Furia a little bit. But even then, like a single RP or a Chronosphere that's like really good will also win the game with Infamous. So Infamous yet again, I'm going to favor this game. I don't know what the odds say here, Ricky.
I just threw him up on screen a moment ago, but I think they have vanished. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
What does Dota Plus say? 52% for Furia. We are wrong, Neph. Who would have guessed?
Gaben has no idea what he's talking about. He doesn't know SA Dota like we do. Thank you, Suits. We've watched these teams just absolutely crush the odds the last little while. Every time they get underestimated, they end up popping off. COVID time skip was super good for SA. They just understand Dota better than whatever stupid algorithm that Valve is using.
Yeah, I agree.
Game should be good though.
Yo,
We'll see if there's any
chilling bottom.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any action by the runes here. Ends up going Boar level 1 here on the Beastmaster. They don't really have a way to clear this one out. I think they'll probably go Adaptive Strike on the Morphling. I'm not sure if there's enough damage between Adaptive Strike and a Miscoil to kill a Boar. If there is,
he's gone full attribute shift right now, but yeah, I think at level 2 you can do it.
Yeah. Those two abilities together might do enough damage to kill a Boar. We'll see. 300 HP on these things. 0% magic resist though. They warded up the big camp here, but they didn't touch the small one, and that can be kind of scary if you end up getting that ghost at 1 minute. That thing does a surprising amount of damage. You can like clear ancients with enchanters if you get the ghost.
Still technically piercing damage, a remnant from the Dota 1 world.
Yeah. I think they increased how much damage piercing does to heroes a while ago because they changed armor types around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it used to be like range creeps and the ghosts barely hurt you at all. Then when they shuffled things around, they changed a little bit. Enchantress isn't going to be able to find just by the 1 minute mark. Very unfortunate stuff. Duster did a pretty good job of cleaning that one up right away. So you have to travel somewhat far to find a creep, and they take the purge creep. Not what I was expecting.
It's not bad. It immediately gets rid of a Photic Shield if he puts it on someone.
Yeah. It does slow them a little bit. They try to clear up this Satyr as quickly as possible, in fact. But yeah, only 13 gold they get for clearing that, and they have to commit a little bit of resources to it as well. Leo going through a little bit of his mana. It only costs 50 to throw out these adaptive strikes. In the top lane, good at Curry, and they're playing super aggressive behind the tower already on Sexy Fat.
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't have a save coming out from the Hoodwink. It's the 5 position, right? So getting spear arrowed, very easy combo to set up, and you got to be careful of that at all times.
All right, let's talk mid lane if we have the opportunity down or over here. SF is winning this one right now, as he should. He ends up burning through a lot of his mana at the start, but once he's got 2 point raises, you do have to be a little bit careful on Magnus, just so you don't get too many stacks of the Shadow Raise debuff onto you. In fact, yeah, Alone has to sit pretty far back until the debuff ends up expiring. Then he can come back to the creep wave. But he's playing very aggressive here with this with his mana here on suits.
Yeah, and he needs to. He can't really allow the Magnus to have a free time. He's actually gonna get the skewer here potentially. No, not gonna happen. He might cliff this Shadow Fiend if he walks back towards it.
Alone could just die here. He's forced to turn around and skewer.
Leo taking a ton of damage bottom too, as well as Duster. They're out of mana now.
Yeah. A lot of these units here harassing them, and I'll pick up more in a moment. 3 minutes rolls around. He did get another block off on that camp with another sentry. Putting a lot of value in this game. That's something we talked about previously. So if the Enchantress is to go so far away, you end up losing a lot of time. The Morphling is able to secure a little bit of CS, so a lot of the enchant duration as well will just end up being wasted. I think he'll probably try to hit level 3 and get the second point in enchant before.
Man, Leo has no regen right now. There's Salve Mango coming out for Duster to try and maybe keep Leo into this lane, but any damage he takes is just going to make his time farming that much worse.
Yep. Ends up finding another D ward here on Michael, but again, he is level 3. Just run across the jungle, pick himself up this Dark Troll Summoner, I think head back to lane. It's possible that he is... Yeah, we see that every so often they rotate to behind.
You got Skewer on a Magnus. This route is going to be a big issue. You just got to make sure to stay outside of vision. The ward on the other side of the high ground here, and now the Troll's coming in. He's going to catch a shockwave, and there's going to be the Skewer underneath the tower. And Shadow Fiend will have to TP all... Oh, yeah, actually just TP's back to his tower. Oh, yeah, not too bad. Well, that's 100 gold. Well played there.
The tip comes out, says, "Ha, you couldn't kill me. You are awful, bad at video games, not worth my time."
Very
At least I
spicy.
think that's what he said. That's how I read into it.
Michael is not done. He wants to go for it again. He has another ensnare. I guess he could just harass the Shadow Fiend a little bit before it dies. But
Yeah.
Alone gets his water rune, gonna be back up in no time. Meanwhile, Sacred bottom lane hasn't really been pushed out. Does give up one of the boars there though.
Yep. Got the Centaur Conqueror now. He'll head back down to the bottom lane. They might be able to find a kill on Duster here, who doesn't have boots yet.
There's no
They
mana
get the boar on
either.
top of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he I think is just dead if he can get in range for an enchant. He's not gonna focus on it. He just wants to go punish Leo instead. Meanwhile, top lane. That's the Mirana Mars combo, I suppose.
Yeah, ended up connecting a spear off of the tower, followed up with an arrow. Nothing that she was able to do. They're playing super far back behind this tower here, but as long as Lumiere can get farm, I don't think it's a super big concern that the Hoodwink ends up dying. And the Faces Void is third on the net worth right now. 30-3 isn't bad at all. Leo.
He went to go for a waveform out and just died, and meanwhile mid lane RP comes out and they get the Magnus. Or I'm sorry, they get the Shadow Fiend with the RP.
That wasn't even a go for a waveform out. That was not press attribute shift while sitting at 3 strength.
Yeah, I mean I saw that. I was...
He didn't have mana for the waveform, in fact.
Dude, he is just getting clapped here in the bottom lane too. So much damage coming from this Enchantress. Leo, is he gonna die twice? There's an impetus in 1 second. He's just...
Yes.
Oh my gosh. His lane feels so rough now. They've been able to keep this catapult alive, and Michael gonna continue to get aggressive here on this Enchantress. Grabs himself one of these melee creeps, and he's just gonna zone Morphling off the wave. And that's your tower. It's just dead here. 645.
While you are sleeping.
Yeah, this Morphlings game is getting basically ruined right now. A lack of a better term.
They're going
He
to try
ends
and
up
get
jumping forward
aggressive
with
onto
Sacred.
Beastmaster. Salve there did help out quite a bit, and honestly, Beast not a super fast hero without these boots, and tries to keep himself alive for the moment. Pops a Hawk, going to try and juke out Leo, and he makes it with that vision. Meanwhile, Duster trapped. Ends up dropping a ward there for some reason, just to make sure. That was a little bit interesting.
Yeah. Observer Ward ends up being a little bit of a waste, but Michael doesn't end up going down there. That's a kind of a yikes for me, but the fact that they got out there on both those heroes does feel pretty good. The top lane, thought we had some action going on here, but
They've pulled Faceless Void out. He's just grabbing the Empower from the Magnus and farming it up at this point. And that's really all he needs to do. I mean, he knows he's in front of this Morphling. There's no chance. All right, well, that's just easy raise kill onto the Hoodwink. Very squishy hero.
yeah. But again, not a super big concern if you're moving a bunch of heroes out of the way. You're just getting the kill onto the Hoodwink position 5. Lumiere, by the way, ends up finding a possessed mask on this Faceless Void in the jungle. So if things weren't good enough with this Magnus and power, they do get even better. He's going to heal up as the CS is inside the jungle now. Chip Vest found on the Beastmaster. He's just going to set up shop down here on the bottom lane. He's got himself a Helm of the Dominator as well. Morphling will struggle once this guy has boots, and they lose Duster alone, manages to find a kill.
Lone and Michael in the mid lane starting to push, trying to pressure this mid lane tower. Morphling's going to be the one that comes in to defend this. Meanwhile, in the jungle, they're chasing after Lumiere on this Faceless Void. I don't think you can get the kill, can you?
No. A almost finished. The Hoodwink almost killed SF over here. All he's got is boots of travel right now.
Oh, he gets the arena though, and Sexy Fat picks off Hoodwink one more time.
I mean, yeah, unfortunate stuff. Hoodwink has died 3 times in a row up here, just trying to soak up XP. They're basically zacking this lane though. I mean, the Faceless Void is finding tons of farm with his Empower, clearing up neutral stacks right now. Almost hitting this SF's net worth, so 1k net worth advantage right now for Infamous, despite the fact they're going to lose this top tier 1, and SF is having a decent game now, Hoodwink not doing so good. I think that they are setting themselves up for victory right now. Things are going about how Infamous want them to go.
I'm a little bit surprised by Alone right now. He's going for the Blink Dagger first as opposed to the Echo Saber, which we've seen a lot. In the jungle, there's a lot of contest over these farms. Or over these stacks. Meanwhile, Sacred's just been able to chill bottom, has the Helm of the Dom finished. Just having a good time alone, pump faking RP mid lane.
Yep. He's probably not going to throw that up. I mean, he might. If a good opportunity presents itself, he might drop the RP before he gets his Blink Dagger.
Not without seeing Duster, I don't think. Yeah, and they'll just instead take the tower with Sacred's Beastmaster. Ooh, that is a lot of gold for the Helm Dom creep.
Yeah. Unfortunately. I mean, a lot of time people try to dominate something else when they see the creep about to die, but not an option against the arrow, unfortunately. He's insta-killing it.
Quickly, he found another Conqueror and goes right back to the bottom lane.
Yep. I mean, they could put some pressure on this tier 2 tower. To clear out these Morphling illusions. Catapult in an awkward position to make it kind of difficult to push out this tower. Very awkward, in fact.
Duster still doesn't have level 6, so I mean, we haven't seen Roar committed once this game. There hasn't really been a reason to from Sacred, as he's just taking objectives off the map here from Furia, and there is still a catapult available here, plus this Conqueror. Like, they're gonna have to fort to keep this alive. They're gonna go ahead and TP in RDO here on the Mirana. He can snipe the catapult, and he will. Well done by him.
Yep.
Hawk comes out from Sacred, though.
Yep. And doesn't see it, just outside the vision of the tower. In fact, they ping it out. They go, okay, let's catch this Mirana. We'll end up grabbing this tier 2 tower if we can set ourselves up down here. See another arrow in a second. They do have Moonlight Shadow, so they'll need some detection.
Michael going for a wraparound. 4 points in the impetus once again. Oh my goodness.
While you are sleeping.
Backside.
Creep.
They do have a ward sentry here. Scouting this out alone. It's just going to cliff Duster. Oh no.
Yep. The Hawk providing vision. Duster's trying to clear it out, but I think he's just going to die here regardless.
Yeah. No point in popping or borrowed time on the high ground there.
I think he tried to, but it was a little bit late. Otherwise, he wouldn't have put that point into it right there.
Oh yeah, you're
he
right.
ended
I
up
didn't
doing
notice.
it just after he died. He tried to do it, but he was just a little bit late.
Well, bottom lane, they still had vision of the Marana and Sacred. He's got that roar available. Might commit it. Yeah, he does. But Magnus, following it up, does have RP if he wants. Arshock way off the mark. They don't have detection for this. All right, roar down. Managed to creep 1 creep alive here, though, so this might allow Sacred to push the tower. Did the creep die? All right, the creep died. Never mind.
Looking to dive the mid lane here. Do a little bit, be a little bit concerned. You don't have the blink dagger yet on Sexy Fat, so getting on top of these heroes is still a little bit difficult. All right, things finally slow down.
Yeah,
I just
Furia
want to see
is
this.
doing all right now.
Yeah, I just want to see this tier 2 taken. He's been putting a lot of pressure down on this on Sacred. RDO seems to be single-handedly slowing all this down.
Yeah, first killing the catapult, then cutting the next wave. And I'm surprised he didn't continue trying to keep that 1 melee creep alive. If he did, maybe he would have been able to take the towers. Still no fortification. It's on cooldown for about 3 minutes. Michael getting ready to rotate as well. He should take this Alpha Wolf, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. RDO is going to cut the wave now, but if we can keep the creep wave alive, they'll be able to grab this tower. And I think they'll just tank it up either with his hero or with the Satyr Tormentor here.
Is under attack.
Ends up de-aggro to the creep, but yeah, this tower's gone. Cutting isn't going to matter. And RDO alone, can he find him?
Oh,
He
yeah.
does.
No!
They don't know. It's fine.
I think they know. He chatlined and pinged. I think he knows. Michael just almost completely solos off the Shadow Fiend. Meanwhile, backside of the fight, Hoodwink gets sniped there by Leo.
They don't know. There's no way they know. I didn't see that. They chatlined before he ended up dropping the RP. I swear, copium.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're gonna think that RP is up. They're not gonna commit onto this Magnus. It's all gonna be good. Michael isn't gonna die over here in the river.
You gotta slow down on that stuff, man. That copium and that amount of dose is gonna hurt you one of these days.
But still, some nice plays now out of Furia. Now they off try to take this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. They get a little bit of chip damage here, but they are forced to back up. They haven't seen a Chronosphere come out yet. They do know that Faceless Void has that available, so play a little bit safe still, even if they don't. If they do know that the RP is on cooldown. Morphling's mostly catching back up now, by the way.
Yeah, he is. He's completely recovered. He has that Mask of Death plus the Possessed Mask, the 2 best items you could probably have to find some farm early on this hero. And on his way to Sanj and Yasha, try to catch up to Lumiere there, who already has his completed. He's actually going for a Diffusal this game, which I think is the correct build. I love Diffusal on Faceless Void. I think it's incredibly strong. It's going to help definitely find kills onto this Morphling, who has played a lot at low HP this game, and he sees him right here on Sacred. He's going to try and cut through these trees, potentially. Roar does come up, but he gets the Morph off just in time. Leo, going to be fine. TP and home.
Beastmaster.
The Centaur Conqueror comes, but a little bit too late. If he had had that there, they might have been able to find the kill off of the Morphling. Tip coming out as well. No Roar available. So some of these cooldowns wasted. Furia now playing the map fairly well. See if they can continue to do so.
Middle tower
They're
Now looking
smoked
for-
up on Shadow Fiend, looking for Lumiere. If he gets the Yules, there's just going to be an Arena Spear. Requiem to follow. Good night, Faceless Void. Well played, says Leo, as they instead find a return kill on the enemy carry. Really well played by Furia here in game number 2 so far.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just not enough damage resistance from the Sanj and Yasha to be able to get out of that one. It would have been fairly close. Check his death summary to see if there was a moment that he... No, there was an arrow that connected as well.
Radiant's top tower
So he wouldn't have been able to get out of that one, even if he did have a BKB.
Pulling
unfortunately.
Shadow Fiend to the mid lane. Oh, he whiffs the sharpshooter. He should still go down, and he will. And that's going to, I mean, he has had this blink for quite a while, so they did know that, but...
Still, nice find, making up for the fact they just lost Faceless Void. The SF does become scary once he's got a couple more items. He's doing this just with the Yule Scepter and the Boots of Travel right now. Which is why I'm not crazy about the SF. You know, you are very squishy. It's very easy for the enemies to find counter kills off on you, even when you're popping off and you're at the top of the net worth. You just die so easily. Duster finds the enemy team, but you know he's pretty confident. He's got borrowed time to work with. If they throw out the roar onto him,
he can't leave. Yeah, he's just gonna get skewered. He's dead. There's too much slow there for him to like try and walk away, right, in the form of the Hellbear Smasher and these boars, and so not a lot of options there.
If he could survive for long enough, the team can come and help him out. But I think Morphling just still doing his own thing. Finally reached the top of the net worth, by the way.
All right, that was pretty funny. RDO bottom lane. Faceless Void runs into him. He like leaps across the ledge here this way, and then leaps right back after he time walks over. TP's out from the other side.
That's just rough.
Funny. It was quite funny.
I missed that one. I was taking a look at this Morphling. What can you do? There's simply no counterplay.
I mean, he could have chronoed him, honestly. We haven't seen chrono thrown at all this game, and
that would have been such a spite chronosphere.
Marana gets found. RDO going for that last leap, but alone doesn't connect to the shockwave, and do not find that kill.
Right, another shawl now found on Lumiere as well. I think probably, what do you pass it to? Probably the Hoodwink?
Probably.
That sounds correct.
Yeah, it's pretty good on the Hoodwink this game. They do have the Diffusal now finished up on the Faceless Void. They could try and make a play with this, but it's going to require that they find either the Shadow Fiend or the Faceless Void. I mean, they've got to trap one of these heroes inside of that Chrono. RP available as well. Alone just kind of low on mana, though.
I mean, doesn't have enough to combo up all of his spells.
They smoke up.
At least get a, yeah, he can get RP skewer off, but that's it.
Sexy Fat whiffs the arena there. Hoodwink ends up being on the other side. He pops the dust, able to keep vision onto them, and a little bit of smoke action blown there from the side of Infamous, but they managed to at least dodge out a counter gank.
Yep. Going to back up now. They figure they've got vision up inside the jungle here. Yeah, they clear up that observer. They're not gonna be able to catch RDO. Many have tried.
Oh, they're gonna pull Dust right out of position on the corner of the backside. It catches the Mars. The damage, I think it's gonna be enough with the Hoodwink. It is. Duster again can't get to his allies. We talked about this in the draft, why Magnus is so frustrating to play against as an Abaddon. You just get skewered away from the people that you want to be friends with, you know?
Yeah, there's just no surviving that one. You get pulled away, regardless of the fact that you have all this extra time. By the time your allies reach you when you're skewered so far away, your borrowed time has just ended. And they'll take an opportunity, just go into Roshan for this one. Without Mars, there's no way they take this fight. So this will be an Aegis going the way of Faceless Void. Arrow ends up connecting, which is sick. But
they actually have a haste.
Really
They're chasing the Shadow Fiend. They have RP alone. He really wants this kill. He's gonna find the Shadow Fiend. Yules does come out to purge it, but the question is, can he continue? No, his team is way too far away.
Yeah. So this is gonna TV back to base now. I still don't think you have enough items completed on this SF to compete in these fights. And even though it's only 1k net worth advantage, the fights feel super hard to take if you're on the side of Furia. You need to execute so many things so perfectly. And a lot of these spells need to be on cooldown for you to take these fights as well. They've still got RP available, and alone is looking to set something up.
Not again, Duster! It's happened so many times. There's just nothing you can do. He's the save. When the save gets found, feels real bad. They have Blink RP. He's gonna try and find him, but he quick Yules there from the Shadow Fiend. Sharpshooter does come through. But it's the mid lane tower that's gonna fall here for the side of Furia, and you gotta be so worried about Alone finding just a single RP. The blink. Sacred almost with the roar. There's gonna be Arena. The Spear catch the Hoodwink, but a nice stop holding him in place on the backside. They get the RP. They catch the Morphling. Shadow Fiend might just turn around and spite take down the Enchantress, but everybody else still pretty happy on the side of Infamous. You got an Aegis to work with.
Lumiere, he wants to go back in if he can. The two back up. Suits, you gotta be a little bit careful with how aggressive that you play here. What you were saying?
The Morphling just came in, just gets immediately roared and sets up an easy RP for the mag.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Suits had an incredibly quick Blink Dagger reaction to that Beastmaster jumping in on him, trying to hit him with Roar. But unfortunately, Morphling wasn't quite as fast, and you know, just a fraction of a second that you're late on that one, you end up paying for it so heavily. And you're not that big in these team fights yet on Morphling either. You're working on your first, like, you've got the Sanj Yasha, yeah, but you're working on your first real item, this Ethereal Blade. It's gonna allow you to participate in these fights and blow heroes up. RDO. I mean, he's still got one blink available.
One lead. Oh. All right.
Ooh.
God Gamer. All right, RDO has made a lot of space this game on this Mirana, and he hasn't really paid for it either. He is 1-0-4.
Again, many have tried to catch this man. Big bounty on this guy's head.
Anime protagonist, you know, what can you do? You get extra buffs in game.
Yeah. He's working on a Lotus Orb, by the way. It's pretty useful this game. Yeah. It's the Beastmaster, especially. Speaking of items that people are working on, Scotty being worked on here on the Faceless Void. Once this one's done, it's going to be very difficult for the Morphling to fight into him. They're smoked up, and they're looking to take a team fight here. RP is on cooldown for another 20 seconds. If you're going to fight into them, you need to be able to do so now. And you got to be able to catch out the Magnus and not the...
Oh, they got the Magnus. That's what you want. He's just super dead. Great initiation. Faceless Void does have the Chronosphere waiting to find a target to go on. They're going to just check the Mars. Just gets bursted so quickly. And Lumiere holding this spell, waiting to find the targets to go on. Jumps forward, looking for Duster, but he catches the Shadow Fiend. Oh no, that's the worst thing that can happen. He's going to get crushed. Moonlight Shadow will save the rest of the team here, but Morphling, gotta be careful. Just gonna go ahead and waveform TP out.
Yeah, unfortunately, aren't able to catch him. Already committed that bushwhack. Couldn't grab him before the waveform, ended up getting him away from that. Now very close to this Sky of Scotty that we were talking about. I mean, that was one of the best case scenarios there for Infamous. It was a little bit unlucky that this Faceless Void ended up catching the S up with the Chronosphere. It was like kind of a guess, but he figured that someone would be hiding back there in those trees.
No, I think Shadow Fiend was D-warding is what happened. I think he went for a D-ward and got chronoed immediately. Backside of the fight, I heard, well, I don't know where that was, but they're looking for RDO. He's got no leap charges this time. You can't get away. RDO finally going to go down for the first time this game, but Sacred managed to take down Duster as well. I mean, Duster is just having such a rough time on this Abaddon. You can't get away in this game if they get on top of you.
Now they're looking to run up the high ground here. Creeps be not long behind, and they've got RP available here still, so they've got a pretty amazing team fight, even if they don't got the chrono.
You got no Abaddon to save you either, so you have to be very careful.
Yeah, SF doesn't feel confident.
That was a complete mistake there from SexyFat. He was looking to go for someone else. The RP still being held. They managed to just take down the Shadow Fiend anyway, and Michael, the exchange, sometimes you blink into an immediate spear.
That spear was being
thrown. The bushwhack. Goodbye, Mirana. That's a dieback. Now Lumiere looking for more as he's caught Leo. The disarm, gonna be able to keep him alive for the time being, as SexyFat putting that halberd to good use. They are back alive here on Duster, but SexyFat is out of mana. The bushwhack, that time getting cut. But Lumiere, you can't get away from him. He's got that Aya Scotty. He's got these bashes, the defusal, everything doing so much work. Leo on the backside was able to take down Sacred, but he's got to be careful. He gets bushwhacked.
He's about to. All right, he thinks better.
Mars is coming back. They're going to leave.
Yeah. Man, that spear. Someone needs to clip that one.
I didn't even see it, dude. I just heard the animate. I just heard it, and Magnus is like just skewered.
That was like he blinked in on top of the spear as it was like coming out, or like just before it came out, right in front of the racks as well. That looked hilarious.
Yeah, that was
they
quite
need a
funny.
moment here. Yeah, not intentional at all, but definitely save them in that team fight. I gotta say. So they'll hold the racks for now, at very least until this next Roshan. But the game is not getting any easier. This Morphling can't seem to find farm, and Faceless Void is getting most of the items he needs to be able to end this game. He's working on this Aghanim Shard at the moment to be able to time walk in and out of the fight, kind of bait out the enemies. And if he's got that, it becomes so much easier to bait out the enemies and to land a sick, like a pretty sick primal roar followed by an RP.
Yeah, absolutely. Reconnecting the game. We're back into this one, and it's looking pretty good for Infamous right now. It's been even for most of this game, but they're finally taking their first real lead so far, I would say. And like you said, I think it comes down to the team fight. Like, they have so much big team fight control that they're able to play around most of it all of it really BKB piercing. So it just feels so rough here on the side of Furia. Like, they're not building BKBs on anyone because it doesn't really matter if you have one or not. Leo might burst the Enchantress. Nah, doesn't want to risk it. Doesn't have a lot of mana. They're gonna go for it. Arrow off the mark. All right, they have to know there's a ward there now.
Let's see.
They're gonna have to wait for someone to come out with some sentries to deward that, I'm sure. Neither of them have sentries. Must be out of stock.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Top
All right.
lane. Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
Pushing the
He's
lane.
just gonna run.
Yeah, he has to leave. Oh, Magnus. Did he see him? He did not. Okay, that was very close.
He's gonna get away from this one now. All right, we're gonna see when Roche responds in another 30 seconds here, and I think this is gonna be one of the major things that Infamous are looking for before they close out this game. They don't have amazing heroes at hitting the high ground and ending it, but if Faceless Void is able to get back up after they commit all their spells. Okay, I'm gonna try to look for a kill here on Enchantress, but unfortunately, she's got both a Hooded Defiance and a Nether Shawl.
Yeah, and they also walked under a ward sentry, so they saw the whole. Again! Magnus! No! Unreal. It's too funny. Duster will have to commit his ultimate. He's still gonna die here, but oh man, it's just too good.
I need to know if this man is predicting these or he's just getting very lucky. He just
Bottom
might
lane,
be the
Shadow
best video
Fiend.
game player I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was nuts. Oh, Leo. He gets the Ethereal Blade off there. They could just commit the Roar, but they're opting not to. Leo's out of mana. He can't do anything. They don't need to commit anything at all. He can't move, neph. Leo's dead.
Fortunate. I mean, he ended up getting the E-Blade off, but it didn't matter. The Chronosphere did end up being worth using there. I think it would have got out otherwise. Yep, shifting, I think, all the way to or almost full strength after that one. He's trying to get the Daedalus on. He bought out.
Yeah,
on
he
the
did.
Morphling. They just run it down.
And bottom lane, Shadow Fiend trying to side push also without buyback, so he can't afford to go down mid either. Faceless Void and friends gonna be able to take this mid barrack pretty dang easily, and I'm assuming they're gonna turn their attentions to bottom right away. I mean, they've still got the RP, they've still got the Roar. All your big stuff really still available outside of Chrono. I mean, you can still find these kills pretty easily. There's going to be the Arcane Blink pickup here on Shadow Fiend, but he doesn't have Requiem. It's on cooldown for another 25 seconds. Oh, he's pulled back the Mars. Sexy Fat gonna get sniped here. Instantly purged thanks to Duster, but in comes more of the damage here from Faceless Void. It's just Michael, actually. Why not? The Enchantress once again.
Yeah, he does have buyback available. The tip comes out onto him now. They're getting their revenge up on him for these illegal spears that he's been using. But RDO, he's cutting the mid-wave, so they lose the creeps. Backdoor protection is up. RDO being an absolute nuisance this game. Every opportunity he gets.
Yeah, we've talked over and over again about how well RDO has played the map, and being 1, 2, and 4 despite the amount of split pushing and aggression that he has basically had this whole game. I mean, over and over again.
Lumiere continues trying to bait out the enemies here. He doesn't have his BKB done, so he's a little bit hesitant to play super aggressive, but there's your Roshan that we were talking about. Aegis Tease, Aghanim Shard. This is going to be the one that decides the game here.
Hoodwink, Tank's Narrow does have a gem though, so she's feeling pretty safe there knowing there's no other wards. You give the shard to the Magnus, almost guaranteed. You could give it onto the Beastmaster for the dive bomb, but Horn Toss would be incredibly strong. Leo gonna get found here by the Enchantress. She is super tanky, but doesn't actually get the heals off in time. Lumiere, he jumps in. They're able to go. On the backside, he's got to be careful. He's able to grab that Aegis. No chrono for 15. Sacred Roar not available. The arrow does connect. They're able to just disengage her on the side of Fury. The double buybacks came out. Infamous. They've got to get something for this. Leo comes in. He gets the cheese, though, on the Faceless Void. And now Leo on the backside trying to get some damage. Sexy Fat just getting pelted by this Enchantress alone. Will be able to finish him off, but they're turning their attention onto the Faceless Void. He's the target they want. They have the Chronosphere, but they don't need it. Once again, the mana burn from this Diffusal is enough. And now Alone looking for the RP, trying to find the Shadow Fiend. He's got Horn Toss if he can get in range of RDO, but Lumiere has his sights set on this Shadow Fiend. I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, it might. He walks under a ward.
I mean, this man is very quick, but he gets on top of him. The first auto attack is going to ensure
There's
that
the
he
chrono.
dies here.
Yep. And this, oh, downtown kill steal from the Hoodwink. You love to see it. They buy back Morphling and the Shadow Fiend. They want to try and turn this around, but he doesn't have Requiem again on cooldown just for a moment. RDO coming in. Sacred Roar in one. They could try and bring down Duster. They get the ult, and now with the rotation of the Faceless Void, they're ready to go. Alone still has his RP, waiting to use it. Leo up on the high ground. They're able to take down the Mirana here. The Bash finally connects.
Down without buyback for 48
the
seconds.
Roar finds the Morphling, just gets bursted. Duster can't save him. And now they just continue further and further into the base. The Magnus, do they even need the hero? They don't. Requiem does come in, but there's the RP. The GG's already called, of course, here as Furia tap out to the damage. The combos from Infamous just too damn strong.
Infamous looking absolutely amazing today. Now, they had such sick drafts, though. I mean, there was just there's so many big spells that you had to play around. There were a couple of misplays. I'm not crazy about the SF, man. I think that's one of my biggest issues with this one. The hero just feels underwhelming in competitive play. No matter how farmed you are, it's just so easy for the enemies to jump on top of you, kill you, and turn you into a gold pinata.
Gold pinata, I love it. I mean, this was sick.
It's my term for like Tinker, Alchemist sort of heroes. SF is like the worst offender though because he needs to play far up into the enemies to do the majority of his damage with like Shadow Rays in his ultimate.
This was
on the farm.
Super good performance from Infamous today, going 2-0. I mean, a really rough day for Furia. I think with that will guarantee that they will finish up in the lower bracket after those two losses. But I mean, dude, I'm all about this draft from Infamous. This was so sick. The Faceless Void pick was really good into the Morphling, going for that Diffusal, making sure that he just has no ability to get away once he has that Scotty. Once he gets on top of the Morphling, you are so sad. But yeah, I don't know, Neph. This has just been a great day of Dota all around.
Yeah, Michael had 2 amazing games in a row. It was a pleasure to watch him. The Beastmaster, I'm not for it right now in the current patch. I think they kind of killed him a little bit too much, but he's all right when he does well. They ended up grabbing that bottom tower pretty quickly and ended up making a lot of space for Lumiere to get the items you need to come online. Lumiere absolutely popped off in these last 2 games, and I think it was a lot due to the fact that his team made tons of space for him here.
Yeah. I mean, there was a moment in that game at that Roche fight where you thought, maybe Furia are going to spin it back. Like they get in with the Requiem, push them back the arena, but it was just a quarter of a second too late as the Roshan had gone down. Everything was actually picked up by the Faceless Void anyway. And, if they had gotten there a second earlier, maybe, that game is different. And, that's what Dota is. It's a game of seconds, Game's a fraction of seconds. But, yeah, it's been a fun day. That is going to bring us to an end. We got more Dota coming up tomorrow as we have a couple rescheduled games. And then I believe we have a day off on Tuesday before playoffs. Is that right?
I think so, unless something horrible happens and we need like a tiebreaker after the games that were postponed tomorrow. But the likelihood of that happening is incredibly low, if not zero. I think. Haven't gotten word from the admin, and if he isn't messaging me, it usually means everything is all good.
Very nice. But thank you all so much for tuning in to the Pro Series. We've had an absolute blast today. Shout out to all of the teams who have competed so far, and we'll be back with playoffs hopefully very soon. That's going to do it, I believe, for Neph and I until playoffs. So enjoy tomorrow's casting duo, ET and Kmart. They're going to kill it. We love those dudes. Congratulations to us, I guess, for being able to cast the games. I don't know, Neph.
Congratulations to Infamous for winning.
You already said congratulations to Infamous. These guys crushed it. Before we call
We're
it,
side characters.
Yeah,
we don't matter.
Before we call it a night, though, I do want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, LootBet. Thank you guys so much for keeping America's Dota funded. We appreciate you guys greatly. For those of you who don't know, you can head on over to bts.gg/lootbet. You have the ability to enter code PRO, and you can get a $200 or €200 match on your first deposit. Put that to good use. There's a banner below the stream. You can click that for the link, or like I said, that link is bts.gg/lootbet. So, but yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. Neph, final thoughts before we close it out.
Fun game of Dota. I'm going to get myself some rest. I'm very excited for playoffs. I'm excited for the new patch. When the playoffs hit, Valve, you better not delay this one. I am hyped up. I'm going to be like a kid on Christmas morning with Frostivus, which you also didn't give me. See you later.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time on the LootBet Pro Series Season 7.